Part B, World Records. Cecil and Ashley are looking at a book of world records.
Look at this guy. He was the tallest man in history.
Wow, he was 2.72 meters. That's almost twice my height.
And you're twice this woman's height. She's the world's shortest woman at just 62.8 centimeters.
I can't imagine being that small.
Being small isn't a bad thing. Check out the bulldog ant. It's the world's most dangerous ant.
OMG, it's responsible for at least 3 people's deaths.
Yeah, and it lives in Australia.
That's not a surprise. Australia has many of the world's deadliest animals. Hey, we're starting. What are you doing?
Hi. Sorry, I'm just looking in the Guinness Book of World Records, and it is full of interesting and amazing facts.
Wow.
Like, for example, here. Do you know what that building is?
Taipei 101.
Exactly. It was the tallest building in the world, but it's no longer. Now it's this building.
The Burj Khalifa.
Exactly. That is now the tallest building in the world. Ooh, and here's one you like. This guy has the strangest diet in the world.
What did he eat?
His name is Monsieur Mange Tout. He's from France. His name means Mr. Eat Everything.
All.
That's right. And he ate a tree and an airplane. And a car,
real
I think,
airplane?
too. Yeah, a real airplane.
What?
Not in one meal. It took him a little while to eat the whole
disgusting.
airplane. But you know, the Guinness Book, it's full of amazing facts, and we're going to be doing a whole dialogue about it as part of our Grammar Station unit. So you guys will definitely want to check that out. But before we do that, we have to find out about some of the most interesting vocabulary in the world. It's not actually a fact from the Guinness Book, but it's part of our dialogue. So let's check that out. Then we'll come back.
同学们有看过或听过金氏世界纪录 The Guinness Book of World Records 吗？那是我小时候最爱看的书之一。今天的 Grammar Station 里面提到 Cecil and Ashley 正在看世界纪录，我们一起来看几个单字。第一个 record 记录，在这边是个名词。Can you show me the records?Can you show me the records? 你可以把记录给我看一下吗？第二个单字 history 历史是个名词。History is Ray's favorite subject. History is Ray's favorite subject. 历史是 Ray 最喜欢的科目。第三个单字 meter 公尺是个名词。How many meters tall are you?How many meters tall are you? 这是外国人常常用的问法。你的身高几公尺高呢？好，比方说 I am 1.75 meters. I am 1.75 meters. 很高哦，175公分。第四个单字 centimeter 公分是个名词。centi 就是100的意思。1%的意思，所以 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. 1公尺就是100公分。好了，我们现在看完单字，一起来看课文吧。
Part B, World Records. Cecil and Ashley are looking at a book of world records.
Look at this guy. He was the tallest man in history.
Wow, he was 2.72 meters. That's almost twice my height.
And you're twice this woman's height. She's the world's shortest woman at just 62.8 centimeters.
I can't imagine being that small.
Explanation 1.
All right, so let's begin day 2 of our Grammar Station unit. This dialogue is all about world records. Now, as we can see from the sentence that tells us what's going on, so we read, Cecil and Ashley are looking at a book of world records. All right, now here, record, it is a noun, but it's not that round black thing that you play music from, not that kind of record. Here, a record is a bit of information that you might record somewhere, and it might be important or interesting interesting, and it probably shows something that is the biggest or the most or the greatest. It's kind of unusual and strange, so that's why we record records, right? We often know these as facts and information. China has the record for having the most people in one country. Russia has the record for being the biggest country in the world. And remember Usain Bolt, that very fast runner from Jamaica? He holds the record for the fastest 100 meters race. So the biggest, the greatest, the fastest, those are the types of things we record records of. So these two friends, they're just spending some time checking out some of the weird, wonderful, and interesting records that they can find in this book.
Okay, so Cecil begins the dialogue by pointing to something that he sees, and he says to Ashley, "Look at this guy." So it must be a photograph that caught his attention, and he says he was the tallest man in history. The next word we have here is history, which means the past events. Anything that happened before is considered history.
Yeah, basically. And of course, Ashley, she immediately wants to know how tall this man was. Don't you?
Yes.
I know I do. And so she looks at the book and she reads something and then she says, wow, he was 2.72 meters tall.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's pretty tall.
Yeah, that's really tall. That's 272 centimeters.
Right.
So our next word is meter. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So we know that LeBron James is just over 2 meters tall, and remember Yao Ming, of course. So he was 2.3 meters tall. This guy, the tallest guy in the world, he's like more than 40 centimeters taller than Yao Ming. So he was huge.
Wow, he is very tall. And
Yeah.
Ashley thinks about how tall she is, and so she adds, that's almost twice my height. So 2 Ashleys equals 1 tallest man in the world. That is amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. And so while we think about how tall this man is and how he could ever find some clothes or shoes that fit him,
Yeah.
let's pause here right now to learn about our very first grammar point.
How did he find shoes?
Custom-made everything.
大家好，我是 Daphne。今天的第一则文法是 A is twice B， 意思是 A 是 B 的2倍 ，twice 是副词，意思是2倍。我们来看一个例句 ：The runner is twice my speed。这位跑者的速度是我的2倍。
Okay, so Cecil and Ashley have just been checking out the tallest man who ever lived in the world record book that they are reading.
Yes, and now that they've done that, it only makes sense that after the tallest, they might want to see who's the shortest person in the world, right? So, Cecil next points out, and you're twice this woman's height.
Oh, okay. So Ashley was twice as tall as this woman. So how tall was that woman? Well, Cecil continues, she's the world's shortest woman at just 62.8 centimeters. Wow, that is really short. So she'd be about this tall. And there, of course, we use this other word, a centimeter. We talked about a meter earlier. That's 100 centimeters. So a centimeter is quite short in itself. It's about that big. So we use both of these things, a centimeter or a meter, to measure how long or how tall things are.
That's right. So in Taiwan, we measure height in centimeters. So just like it would be really hard for us to understand the life of a super tall person, Ashley also says, I can't imagine being that small. The size of a doll. Yes, it might be an interesting life, but I'm sure that, it was just really difficult to be super tall or super short.
That's probably true. But hey, they are in the world record book, so that's gotta be kind of special in some way, right?
Yeah, they made history.
That's true. All right, folks, it looks like it's time for us to take our break right here, but don't go far because we'll be back very, very soon.
Being small isn't a bad thing. Check out the bulldog ant. It's the world's most dangerous ant.
OMG. It's responsible for at least 3 people's deaths.
Yeah, And it lives in Australia.
That's not a surprise. Australia has many of the world's deadliest animals.
Explanation 2.
All right, we are back. And Ashley and Cecil continue their look through the pages of a book of amazing world records that they have with them.
Yes, so they were just reading about the smallest person in the world, and they thought that being that small, just 63 centimeters tall, wouldn't be much fun.
No, but then something else in the book catches Cecil's eye, and he says, being small isn't a bad thing.
Why?
All right, well, he has a reason for saying that. Then he says, check out the bulldog ant. It's the world's most dangerous ant. Okay, I guess I can understand what he's saying here, but also why he thinks that's a little unusual, right? I mean, sure, ants are very small, but this ant is still pretty dangerous. In fact, it's the most dangerous ant in the world.
Okay, so small ants are powerful and dangerous. 在这边加一个补充单词 bulldog ant. Bulldog 是斗牛犬 ，ant 就是蚂蚁，放在一起就是凶猛的斗牛犬蚁啦。And how dangerous is it? Well, the answer is very dangerous. When she sees what else is written on the book about the bulldog ant, Ashley just says, OMG! This is the short version for oh my god or oh my gosh. You only say this when you're really shocked or you're surprised. You go, oh, OMG! And then she adds, it's responsible for at least 3 people's deaths. So that bulldog ant killed 3 people. An ant?
An ant killed people. That's pretty amazing. I mean, when we think of dangerous bugs or insects or things like that, you know, we might think of wasps or centipedes or even spiders, but ants that kill people? That is weird.
Very weird. 好，我们来看看刚才提到的昆虫，有一些昆虫可能会让你致命哦。第一个是 wasp。黄蜂，第二个是 centipede 蜈蚣，再来是 deadly 致命的，是个形容词。Before we continue reading, let's pause here right now because I can see that this last sentence had 2 grammar points in it, so we will go check that out right now before we finish things off.
第二则文法是 A is responsible for B， 意思是 B 归因于 A。Responsible 是形容词，意思是作为原因的。在这个句型里，主词 A 是原因，介系词 for 引出的结果是 B。我们来看一个例句 ：The typhoon is responsible for the flood。水灾归因于这次台风。第三则文法是 at least， 意思是至少。at 是介系词，意思是以用。Least 是名词，意思是最少的量。At least 字面意思就是用最少的量，也就是至少咯，为副词片语。我们来看一个例句 ：The boat costs $1 million at least。这艘船至少要100万美元。
So the bulldog ant is the world's most dangerous ant. It has killed at least 3 people. Now, ants don't usually do anything like that, of course.
No.
So where does this deadly little ant live? I want to know so I don't go there.
Yeah, okay, so Cecil keeps looking at the book. He agrees with Ashley that it's a very dangerous insect. And then he says, yeah, and it lives in Australia. Of course, there are so many different animals and snakes and spiders in Australia. I'm not surprised.
Exactly. You know that, I know that, and it seems so does Ashley. As we reach the end of our dialogue, she says, that's not a surprise. Australia has many of the world's deadliest animals. Yes, it truly does.
And I bet that they'll find some more facts about these dangerous insects if they keep reading their book of world records. Alright guys, so that's all the time that we have today. Thank you so much for joining us. Please stay away from deadly insects, and we will see you all very soon. Bye bye.
Take care. Part B, World Records. Cecil and Ashley are looking at a book of world records.
Look at this guy. He was the tallest man in history.
Wow, he was 2.72 meters. That's almost twice my height.
And you're twice this woman's height. She's the world's shortest woman at just 62.8 centimeters.
I can't imagine being that small.
Being small isn't a bad thing. Check out the bulldog ant. It's the world's most dangerous ant.
OMG, it's responsible for at least 3 people's deaths.
Yeah, and it lives in Australia.
That's not a surprise. Australia has many of the world's deadliest animals.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 又到我们1分钟的单元喽。那我们今天是用1分钟的时间来复习单字，也会造句练习。同学们，您都准备好了没？1分钟计时，开始。第一个单字呢，它可以当动词来表达录下来的意思，也可以当名词来表达记录。这个字叫做什么？它叫做 record。record， 注意我刚刚说录下来的时候，那个录的动词要念 record。那我们现在是要讲名词 record， 是记录。He wants to break the school's record for the high jump。他想要打破学校的跳高纪录。第二单词是历史，历史叫做 history。History. He's one of the greatest musicians in history. 他是史上最伟大的音乐家之一。好，第三个单字是公尺，公尺怎么说呢？叫做 meter。meter 我们不是数学都会写 m 吗？就来自这个字 meter。The bridge is about 150 meters long. 那座桥大约是150公尺长。那么第四个单字是公分，在 meter 前面加上 centi 就变成 centimeter 公分。Rachel is about 165 centimeters tall. Rachel 身高大约是165公分。好，太好了，我们在1分钟之内复习完单字，也造完例句咯。同学表现很棒诶，那我们下次见咯，拜拜。
Fulong Beach is a golden sand beach in northeast Taiwan. The sand here is perfect for making sand sculptures. The Fulong International Sand Sculpture Art Festival takes place between April and July. Artists from all over the world and Taiwan create art with sand. Large crowds of people come to enjoy their work. The theme for 2018's festival is Adventure of Love and Courage. Each section has many different kinds of islands. Guishan Island shows nature and Taiwan style. Fisher Island is sure to catch your eye. The main piece, upside down, stands tall in the center. Check out these works of art and feel the beauty and passion.
See you next time.